All right, Pallavi, let me just come back to you. Of course, we were discussing what is happening in Bangladesh right now. That being said, with Tariq Rahman effectively at the helm of affairs when it comes to the BNP and the elections, of course, which are expected in February, how do you see the ties between the two nations evolving going forward?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that Yunus's administration came out with a statement after the murder of Mondol to make the point that he was killed not because he was a Hindu, but he was killed because he was a criminal and extortionist was in a way an attempt being made by the Yunus administration to calm down the tempers as far as India is concerned. Politically, back home in India, the attack on the minorities, particularly the Hindus, has also snowballed into a big political issue. And in West Bengal elections, that's also going to be a big issue. But, when I did speak to some people, many of them not willing to come on camera, they made the point, and in fact, this was something which was taken up by the High Commissioner of Bangladesh to India as well in a big meeting he held, where he was told, and he also conveyed this, that the kind of comments which were coming in from many of the Indian leaders were something which was just stoking and could actually provoke the Jamaats for that matter. So we cannot be blamed if things go out of control or if the situation really goes out of control. There is a palpable anger on the ground over here that is not forgotten against Sheikh Hasina. And the fact that Sheikh Hasina lives in the national capital of India is also another point which many of the people over here do have a grudge against. We have our own diplomatic reasons. But what India is also doing a fine balancing act, despite the fact that Sheikh Hasina continues to remain on the Indian soil, as Jaishankar flying down here for a very short time, but also paying his condolences to the family of Khaleda Zia, taking part in the janaza, is India's message that we do want a normalization of relationship between the two countries. There has been almost 12 to 18% of trade ties between India and Bangladesh. That can only be resumed and speed up if things are calm. There are reasons why Indians are angry with the turn of events over here. And, BNP is trying to follow the middle path in trying to ensure they don't become too radical, but at the same time, globally they send out a perception that we do want everyone to live together. But the Jamaats are becoming extremely powerful in many pockets of the country, and that could be seen as a worrying sign. And lastly, the fact that we've reached out to the BNP clearly shows our preferences with whom we want to do a business with. Not the Jamaats, but clearly it's the BNP.
That's a very important point that you raised there also, Pallavi. Thank you so much for that. Siddhant, let me just come to you. What you were saying, let's come back to a point that you were making earlier also. Perhaps with this move, India, they're sending a very clear message, once again reiterating its policy that dialogue and diplomacy is the way forward.
Well, that's right. In fact, as Pallavi was pointing out, that there have been multiple meetings between the Indian side and BNP leadership. In fact, Indian High Commissioner Pranay Verma met BNP leadership a few months back. In fact, as Prime Minister Modi was the first world leader to extend support to Khaleda Zia's family when she was admitted to the hospital. In fact, Prime Minister offered all kinds of assistance from the Indian government if needed. In fact, that gesture was also welcomed by senior BNP leadership and BNP cadre. As we were discussing before him, that the Tariq Rahman is the new face of BNP. He's talking about inclusivity. He's talking about having a plan for Bangladesh. He wants to give BNP a new look, a completely new design. He does not want people to see BNP with a traditional lens, with a traditional mindset. And perhaps I think that is something which can bring both the Indian leadership and BNP closer to each other. Now, look, today, EM S. Jaishankar is in Dhaka. In fact, he met BNP Supremo Tariq Rahman. He hands over the letter from the Prime Minister Modi. In fact, he also met the foreign advisor of Bangladesh. And going by the pictures, it looks like that they had a very comfortable meeting. The atmosphere was very comfortable inside that room because both the foreign advisor and EAM had a smile on their faces when they met. So definitely, also him, very important to highlight that comparing BNP and Jamaat and Awami League with the other political forces in Bangladesh, these two parties have been liberal in their policies, inclusive in their policies, democratic, progressive. So, so definitely a neighboring country like India will always be more comfortable in dealing with Awami League or with BNP than dealing with Jamaat-e-Islami or the other political factions in Bangladesh. So definitely, and in fact, Tariq, very last point would like to make, Tariq Rahman's the other day when he addressed the party supporters, his tone was not anti-India. If it was not pro-India, then it was not anti-India, it was India neutral. So that was a big signal which he had sent the other day while addressing the BNP cadre in Dhaka.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for that. Now,